Manasa madhukara mataya nijapada pankajamapande. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Krishna Deva
she's the Radhe Judge.
Radhe Judge, okay.
That was the playful one.
Yes.
Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava.
Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava. Gokula Tane Mandala Marite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Ram Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Nitai Gaur Premanande Nitai Gaur Premanande Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Trump, can you put this lamp on this side? Because half face only can be seen. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Radha Lalit Madhav Ji ki Jai. Radharaman, can you put it here? Radharaman Bihari, Radhavinod Bihari, Radhanan Bihari Ji ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan Ji ki Jai. Radha Damodara Radha Shyama Sundar Radha Gokulananda Radharaman Ji ki Jai. Krishna Balaram Maharaj ki Jai. Nita Prishta Vishnu Pada Stutra Satya Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Om Vishnu Pad Parivraj Kacharya Stotra Satya Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Nita Prishta Vishnu Pada Stutra Satya Shrimad Bhakti Pragyana Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Prishta Vishnu Pada Stutra Satya Shrimad Bhakti Jivan Janardana Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Prishta Vishnu Pada Stutra Satya Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Vamana Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Prishta Vishnu Pada Stutra Satya Shrimad Bhakti, okay, Vedanta Swami Maharaj ki Jai. Prishta Vishnupad Shrimad Guru Govinda Maharaj ki Jai. Shrimad Bhakti Rakshak Shridhar Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Shrimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Param Bhagavad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Ji Maharaj ki Jai. Saptam Goswami Satchidananda Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. Vaishnava Sarobham Srila Jagannath Das Ji Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shri Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. Sarab Namadara Ramanandadi Shri Gaur Parishad Vrinda ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pravancananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Navadip Mandal ki Jai. Vraj Mandal ki Jai. Kshetra Mandal ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Samagta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhika Tadalai Krishna Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Anandalilamaya Vigrahaya Mabadivichiva Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Nityananda Namastubhyam Premananda Pradayane Kalo Kalmashanashaya Jannavapataye Namaha. Ajanulamita Bhujo Kanakavadato Sankirtanaya Kapitaro Kamalaya Taksho Vishwambaro Dvijavaro Jugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priya Karo Karunavataro Kanakajalada Gatro Nilashonabjanetro Mrigamadavaravalo Malati Kundamalo Taralatarunavesha Nilapitambaresho Smaranibrita Kunjiradika Krishna Chandra Tavaivasmi Najivamitvaya Vinam Iti Vigyaradi Tvam Nemam Charanantike Advaita Prakati Kritanara Hari Preshta Swarupa Priya Nityananda Sakha Sanatana Gati Shirupa Krita Ketana Lakshmi Pranapati Gadadhara Rasallasi Jagannatha Bhum Sangapanga Saparshada Sadaitam Deva Sachinandana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. First of all, my unlimited Dandavat Pranams to the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev, Nitil Prishta Om Vishnupad, Astutra Satishimad Bhaktivedanta, Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Shiksha Gurudeva Som Vishnupad, Astutra Satishimad Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, Shrimati Krishna Priya Thakurani, also to the author of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur, all Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis present here at Pran Krishna Lavanya Mais, our new brother and sister, more like spiritual nephew and niece, Dandavat Pranam. So all those devotees who are watching us right now and in the recording, and hopefully someone else will come. So, okay, good, very good. Okay. So we were hearing in London and Watford the sweet Gaura-lila, pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's the unimaginably deep, unending ocean of rasa. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the repository of rasa, and his pastimes also filled with rasa. So that's what we live for, rasa. That's what, after so many lifetimes, we're so happy we have met Rasika Vaishnava, one whose heart is satiated with rasa. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati, Kriyatamiti Kutopi Labhyati, Tatra Lolim Apimulyam Ekalam, Janmakuti Sukritarina Labhyati. During all this talk, we were quoting constantly this verse, from which Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada took the name ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. What is Krishna consciousness? That is Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati. Mati means consciousness, means mind, absorbed in Krishna Bhakti Rasa. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the repository of Bhakti Rasa. Before Mahaprabhu, people were speaking about Bhakti, and they were speaking about Rasa. But nobody really was speaking about Bhakti Rasa, what it means. If you ask a common, like a faithful person from any religion, who is God? What will you be doing when you see God? And what God is like? What you will be like when you see God? What exactly you will be doing? Will you be having a nim same as God's? Will you be seated on the same cloud or on a neighboring cloud? Or what's going to happen? Most of them will not be able to answer, or they will consider these questions too challenging, improper even. So, but Bhakti Rasa, Krishna Bhakti Rasa, is describing the experience of Krishna Bhakti Rasa gives full realization of who is Krishna and who am I and what is going on there. So that's the astonishing. Rasa is always chamatkar. Chamatkar means very astonishing. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes are astonishing. So yesterday was a very lucky day. We had a phone conversation with our beloved guardians, and one of them asked Purushottam Das, what is meaning of Purushottam, meaning of Purushottam. So that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is Purushottam. Purusha Uttama. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Mahyanya. Purusha means Supreme Personality, and Uttama means the absolute manifestation. So when Vyasadeva saw Krishna in his meditation, he didn't see Krishna alone. He saw Krishna with all of his energies, certainly. It said Purusham Purnam. Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Pranitya Apashyam Purusham Purnam. He saw Purusham Purnam. Apashyam means saw, really saw all manifestations of Purusha, all the Shaktis of Purusha he saw. And Maya, he saw also Maya Apashyatam. At some distance, he saw Maya Devi. illusion, which is ruling all conditioned living entities in this world. So he saw all that, he saw. But why? Srila Gurudev is saying, because Radhika was near. If not for Radhika, he wouldn't have seen all, like Purusham Purnam. It would have been Purusham, but not Purnam. Purusham Purnam means complete manifestation of Supreme Personality. That is complete with Radhika. But when Radhika comes together with Krishna, means not only coming together with Krishna, but covering Krishna completely. Bhava and Kanti. Bhava means mood, and Kanti means bodily hue, color. That is most astonishing and most complete. And when it's most complete, when it's most astonishing. Our words are very, how to say, imperfect. We cannot. But our Acharya is still using, how to say, human language. They're giving us that into our hearts. When they speak Harikatha, so then it goes beyond human language, it goes beyond realization of any material senses, it goes beyond. So that is why we're speaking about Sri Guru so much. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is our actually initial Guru, and our Gurus are leading us towards Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radha and Krishna. That's why today I said, oh, I will send you a proper altar. I mean, proper means when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is next, and everything, like all, well, actually, like combined altar, Krishna Balaram, everything is there, everyone is there. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there, definitely, must be there. Shri Radha and Krishna there. So, Premaras and Irias, Korite Asvadan, Raga, Marga, Bhakti, Loki, Korite Pracharan. So, for two reasons he came. We were speaking very simply, actually, 4 reasons, but 2 main reasons. Prema rasa niryas. Niryas means the essence of prema rasa, of beloved relationships, of ecstatic moods of bhakti rasa. So prema rasa niryas. Korite aswadan. Aswadan means to experience himself. This is one. And raga marga bhakti. Loke. Loke means for the people. Raga marga. To give the possibility, to give chance to experience the same for the human, for the residents of this world. Loki means people, means residents of this world, conditioned souls. Raga Marga means spontaneous love and devotion. Only spontaneous love leads us to Vrindavan. Only spontaneous love leads us to Navadvip, Mayapur, eternal abode, Shvetadvip. So, our beloved Gaudians are having the abode in Vrindavan, and soon there will be abode also in Navadvip. It will be called Shvetadvip Dham. So that's the proper name of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu's abode, just next to Goloka Vrindavan. It's in the same, what to say, we can say area, in the same place. So Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Shri Radha Krishna, that's why we're worshipping. So we were speaking about how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested Sankirtana pastimes. Sankirtana pastimes. Soon we'll hear how it all started. So first he was ecstatically evolved in manifestations of prema. He was laughing and crying. He was rolling on the ground and crying constantly. And all of his associates were also immersed in that. They were washed by his tears. Many were not understanding him. Many were envious. The neighbors, oh, they were very, very envious. They were very envious. So many people envious of devotees. But at that time in Navadvip, many people were saying, why are they worshipping Krishna, you know? Mostly people were worshipping Durga, Shiva. And there were, Vrindavan Das Thakur saying, only concerned with the weddings of the sons and daughters, and even cats and dogs. And they were also saying, some of them were saying that, oh, the worshipper and the worshipable object is the same. Why are they worshipping someone? Those were impersonalists. And those many people, Shaktas, you know, they were worshipping Durga. Most of them having, you know, either demigod worship conception or impersonal conception, imperfect conception. very, very few devotees of Krishna, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he started ecstatic Sankirtana movement. So simultaneously, Aswadan means experiencing himself and giving to others. The taste of spontaneous love, that's what he was giving. So I was actually preparing to speak very simply for neighbors or someone. But anyway, it's very blissful also today, because it's a class for devotees. What happened when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started his Sankirtana movement? So the very, very first moments of that we'll discuss at the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. But today we'll remember one very, very special devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is Srila Haridas Thakur and his lilas. So then some people were becoming aggressive, the neighbors. Oh, we'll burst into their house and crush everything, They were singing in Srivas Thakur's house. We will go and complain to Chand Kazi, the local magistrate, and he will come with his soldiers and destroy the house of Srivas or throw it into Ganga. So actually he first sent some of his soldiers, and then they came and came back. There was no result. So he came himself with a sword and he broke Mridanga in the house of Srivas Pandit. So that's a place called Danga Bhanga. It's the place called Danga Bhanga, the place where Khol or Mridanga was broken in two. So then, as you remember, Mahaprabhu started that huge Sankirtana with fires, and finally he met Chand Kazi, and Chand Kazi said, "Oh, I actually will not hamper your Sankirtana, will not impede anymore, because I saw in my dream a very, very ferocious personality, half man, half lion. I don't know who that was. And see, he scratched my chest. So he saw some marks. Nrsimhadev really said, if you again make some trouble for my devotees, I will kill you. I warned him. So okay, I will not do anything. So then Gauranga said that, maybe I can do something for you. Oh yes, please, don't allow any cows to be killed in this area of Navadvip. So Chand Kazi forbade that. So, but at that time, Sri Haridas Thakur came. Who is Sri Haridas Thakur? Very, very special incarnation of Lord Brahma and Prahlad Maharaj simultaneously. So when Prahlad Maharaj was saved by Lord Nrsimhadev, and he was glorifying Sri Chaitanya, Sri Nrsimhadev, he was glorifying the Lord, but he had to come again to enter Sri Haridas Thakur's transcendental body. And also, Lord Brahma. You remember the story how Brahma stole the calves of Krishna? Remember that story, Lavanya? Okay, you remember? No. Okay, one time, Brahma saw, Krishna is so tricky, actually. He's a coward boy. He's just a mere boy. Brahma started thinking. Brahma, having great knowledge, wanted to test Krishna. All the Brijbasis, all the residents of Raj are worshipping that boy. Why? I'll see how omniscient he is. I'll steal his calves and cows right now. Hare Krishna. So when Krishna went with his cow, when he was sitting with his coward boyfriends in on the grass, then Brahma and Krishna went. Okay, so the calves went somewhere, and Krishna said to the cowboys, "I will find them." So he went, and then Brahma stole cows and put them in a cave, using his mystic power. he couldn't have touched Krishna's real cowherd boys means calves and calves. He couldn't steal everyone, all of his friends. He couldn't have done. So that's why Maya created some special set. So those Mayic cows and calves he stole, and he put them in a cave, and blocked with some boulders. So they were there, and went to his abode. And just for a moment, but during the moment in that abode, the whole year passed on earth. And at that time, during that year, the ladies of Vraj and the cows also, they gave birth to new children. Ladies to new children, new sons, and cows to new calves. But, naturally mothers, they have more affection for new babies and cows, But they were having more affection for those particular calves and those particular boys in whom, like, Krishna became them simultaneously. So they were actually, they remained, but they were still, actually Gurudev was explaining there were actually 3 sets. The first set was stolen, Mayic, by Brahma in the cave. The second set was hidden, they were not visible. And the third set, Krishna entered himself. So really entered the boys and the calves, because he knew the desire of the Vraja Gopis to have him as his child, their child. So actually they were caressing Krishna, they were kissing Krishna, they were so much milk from their breasts, so much milk from their udders, to feed those little calves, to feed those little boys. They were 1 year old, but mothers have milk, till sometimes age of 4 or 5 even, to feed the children, little children, with breast milk. So Krishna fulfilled their desires during that year. There was one episode when the cows were high on the high mountain. They saw the little calves, those particular calves, who were actually Krishna, the foothills. They rushed down, with great force, and great amount of stones were rolling into the hooves, together with them like this. So they were just ecstatically attached to the children like this. And then Brahma returned. After one moment, the estimation of Brahma Loka, he returned, and he saw that Krishna, as nothing happened, is sitting together with his cowherd boyfriends at that same place. Could not believe. He could not believe. So he saw the first set, the hidden set. With 2 heads he was watching that, and with 2 other heads he was looking towards the cave, the boulders. They were sitting there. And he could not believe what was going on. What is going on here? Could not believe. And then Krishna gave special mercy to him, and he manifested the third set, means himself. He just gave him darshan of his transcendental form. He gave him the darshan of his 4-handed form, manifestation before Brahma. So his Ishtadev, Brahma saw his Ishtadev everywhere. So then he started praying, he started being very repentant. I'm so foolish, I've created such a havoc, I disturbed your Lila. I was saying many things, so he was very repentant. So finally Krishna said, okay, so he never said anything, Krishna never said anything, didn't react, because he challenged his own very near and dear friends. So when Indra was pouring so much rain to Govardhan, there was Gaura-lila, then Krishna's 15 prayers, after 15 prayers, Krishna said, okay, go back, no problem, resume your service. But when Brahma was praying, Krishna said nothing. He was standing with a mixture of rice and yogurt in his left hand, and carelessly, not listening or not listening. Like, okay. Sometimes you're trying to say something to someone, or you're praying or approaching, or please forgive me, that person is not reacting. So you can understand how you can feel, So very grievous mistake. So then Brahma, as a repentance, took birth in Gaura-lila as Haridas Thakur in a low family, Muslim family. So, so that he could be very, very, very humble, very, very humble. So that is, how to say, main essence of Sri Haridas Thakur, the incarnation of Brahma, and combined also incarnation of Prahlad simultaneously. So Haridas Thakur is Nama Acharya, the Acharya of the holy name. Since Brahma is our Sampradaya Acharya, Brahma, Lord Brahma, the Acharya of our Sampradaya, and Haridas Thakur is also Acharya of the holy name. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself called him Namacharya, the Acharya of the holy name, to exemplify how important it is to chant the holy name. So he was very, very deeply absorbed in the holy name, walking here and there. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught the world, Vaishnava world, 4 qualities by the example of 4 devotees. So by the example of Srila Sanatana Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was teaching everyone humility. By the example of Sri Damodar Pandit, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was teaching everyone equal vision, seeing everyone equally. And by the example of Sri Ramananda, Mahaprabhu was teaching self-control, self-discipline, self-control. And by the example of Sri Haridas Thakur, Mahaprabhu was teaching tolerance. So that's the teaching we have to take from Srila Haridas Thakur's Lila, tolerance. So just briefly about the 3 first personalities I mentioned. Srila Sanatana Goswami was in Jagannath Puri with Mahaprabhu, but since he was serving Muslims, together with Srila Rupa Goswami, he was Prime Minister of Nawab Hussain Shah, the Muslim governor. So he was considered by the Brahmanas and by people of, caste consciousness, he was considered to be like Malichha, like fallen. But anyway, he was really considering himself very fallen. That's why he didn't dare to come next to the temple of Jagannath Puri, Jagannath. Not even what to speak of entering the temple, not even coming close to the temple, not even walking on the road, Grand Road leading to Gundicha Mandir. Srila Sanatana Goswami was not really daring, yes, to walk there. That's why he was going to Mahaprabhu, to Gambira, but he was going down the beach. He's walking on the beach, and his soles of his feet got burned by the strong sun. In the middle of the summer, Jagannath Puri is just terribly hot, and humidity also very high. So anyway, I can imagine. Sanatana Goswami was just burning his soles of his feet, but he was walking because he was not able to, I'm fallen. So Srila Haridas Thakur also, humility, but especially tolerance. Then Damodar Pandit. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was having one devotee, Damodar Pandit. And he was very, very, had equal vision. He could instruct, even give advice, even to Mahaprabhu himself. He was not, when it was necessary. And one time it became necessary because one boy, maybe 7-year-old boy, started visiting Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu was showing him special affection. He was teaching him the holy name. He was stroking his head like this, giving some dust of his feet like this. Then Damodar Pandit said, "Oh Mahaprabhu, please be careful, because that boy is the son of a widow. There was a Brahmani widow, and that boy was the son of hers. So for a sannyasi, to have some affection for son of a widow." She was somewhere else. She was not coming. She was away. But, in Vedic society, it would not it wouldn't be considered proper. That's why Mahaprabhu Damodar Pandit gave instruction even to Mahaprabhu. It was, let's say, equal vision. He was not afraid even to mention this to the Lord. So if any other, say, sannyasi, not Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, some other sannyasi would develop that, then it would be okay. But in case of Mahaprabhu, only Damodar Pandit had that equal vision, and that's why and Mahaprabhu took it, or he stopped associating with the boy. He accepted the instruction. So equal vision, equanimity. And through Raya Ramananda, Mahaprabhu was teaching self-control. So Raya Ramananda was in Jagannath Puri, and one brahmachari, I think, Pradyumna brahmachari, yes, was sent to him, to Raya Ramananda, by Mahaprabhu. First, Pradyumna brahmachari wanted to hear Harikatha from Mahaprabhu. Please tell me Krishna Katha. Please tell me stories about Krishna. Mahaprabhu said, I don't know any Harikatha. I don't know any stories about Krishna. Narrations. You have to go to Raya Ramananda. He will tell you. He will tell you. Actually, Mahaprabhu knew what would happen. He wanted to test Pradyumna. So Pradyumna brahmachari went there to Mahaprabhu. To Raya Ramananda. He was in Jagannath Vallabha Gardens. Later he wrote Jagannath Vallabha Nataka, a great, great masterpiece of exalted poetry. So in Jagannath Puri temple there are very special dancing girls. They're called Devadasis. So they never get married. Very young, maybe 14, 16, like this. They dedicate their lives to Jagannath, and they sing and dance for the Lord. So, as I mentioned, Sri Ramananda had written that Jagannath Vallabha Nataka drama. So he was preparing them for acting in the drama, transcendental drama. So they were supposed to play the parts of gopis. And he was preparing them, preparing their bodies, for that. So with his own hands, he was washing their bodies, cleaning, like you're about to offer some fruit, to the deity. So you have to wash, you have to clean, you have to be very, very careful, mindful. So in that same way, you're offering that to Shri Radha and Krishna, to Jagannath. So he was cleaning them, massaging them with some aromatic oil like this. But he was completely undisturbed, because on that level, he's Vishaka Devi, actually, Raya Ramananda. So he was not seeing gents, lady, all those things. He was. So that is the example of high-class self-control, sense control, self-control. So, but by the example of Shri Haridas Thakur, Mahaprabhu was teaching tolerance. There are many leelas. Some of them maybe we'll hear tomorrow in the public program. But Srila Haridas Thakur came, and he was always manifesting ecstatic symptoms. There in Navadvip, he was crying, hair standing on end, laughing, losing consciousness, perspiring. As soon as Haridas began to dance, these symptoms would all manifest in his body. Haridas's entire body became wet as tears of love flowed from his eyes. Even staunch atheists would offer him respect. There were some very rough atheists who were not considering him a saint. But even Muslims, as we will now hear, they were. After they accepted him, after this Leela happened. So when the hairs of Haridas Thakur were standing on end, even Brahma and Shiva were so astonished. All the brahmanas of Pulia, that was in Pulia area, were overwhelmed upon seeing Haridas. So thus Haridas Thakur resided in Pulia. Everyone developed great faith in him. So every day he was taking bath in the Ganga and then loudly chant the names of Lord Hari, wandering about. So the Muslim governor, Qazi, the local governor, he was not satisfied with that. He saw the popularity of Haridas Thakur, a Hindu saint, growing. So he went to the king of Bengal, Nawab, and complained about Haridas. Yavana haya kare hindura achar bhala mati tare ani karaha vichar. Haridas is a Muslim, but he follows the religion of the Hindus. Please call him and consider his case. So, as for religious Hindus, Muslims are untouchable. So for Muslims, Hindus are untouchables. People tend to have that type of conditioned consciousness. So, by the mercy of Krishna, Haridas was not even afraid of death personified. What to speak of the Muslim rules? When you are tolerant, then you become fearless. So these two things are interdependent. When you tolerate everything, you're fearless. Yeah. Bhatam bhayam dvitiya binivesha tasyati shalmapetasya pariyospratihi mayamatmatmachabdara gesha sakti bhayam dvitiya binivesha tasyat ishamapetasya vipariyosmritihi and Buddha abhajetam bhaktyeka yesha gurudeva tatma. In 11th canto, this verse says about fear we're experiencing. In this world, we're experiencing fear. Because from time immemorial, we turned away from Krishna. From time immemorial, turned away from Krishna. Vipariyos asmriti, from time immemorial. When we did that, how we did that is a separate topic. But we did that and we are not remembering Krishna. Before the beginning of time it happened. That's why we always experience fear. And those who are devotees of the Lord, they fear less. And they're also very tolerant. Haridas Thakur is the great example. So that's why Haridas was fearless, completely fearless. Chanting the name of Krishna, he immediately went to see the king. Immediately. Chanting. He was happy. He saw the king. Well, okay, I can be punished. I see no problem. The king will punish me. If I'm worthy of that, most welcome. You can punish me, O king, said he later. Hearing about Haridas's departure to see the king, pious persons felt morose in the midst of their happiness. When the respectable persons in prison, there were some Hindu believers, they were in prison, so they became very, very happy. Haridas has come to see the king, so they were very pleased. Parama Vaishnava Haridasa Mahashaya Tare Deki Bandi Duka Haridakshaya. Haridas is a great Vaishnava, they said. By seeing him, our distress due to imprisonment will be vanished. So the prisoners tactfully persuaded the guards to let them see Haridas without disturbance. And Haridas went to the prisoners and saw him. Then they offered obeisances to him immediately. They were so happy. And Haridasa's hands reached to his knees, his eyes were like lotus petals, and his enchanting moon-like face was beyond compare. So immediately, as they saw Haridas, the ecstasy permeated their bodies, and their bodies also were marked by the signs of ecstasy. So then Haridas saw the devotion of the prisoners, and his mood became so joyful. He smiled and he said, Thaka Thaka Ekathaga Ekhana Achana Yana Rupe Gupta Ashirvada Kari Hasana Kautuki. So he said, stay there, stay as you are, stay like this. But they misunderstood Haridas. They said, oh Haridas, you're saying, you're wishing us to stay forever in jail. But Haridas said, no, you haven't understood the meaning of the blessings I gave. That's why you're lamenting. You're not properly understanding my blessings. I never awarded auspicious benedictions, so now your mind is fixed upon Krishna when you see me. So I wish you to always be fixed in Krishna. Now you can always together chant the holy names. So you're now here, you have a lot of free time, no trouble, so you can chant and think of Krishna. So otherwise, you will return to material enjoyment, bad association, and forget Krishna. Sometimes, those prisoners become devotees. They look for God, really. One devotee who had been in jail told me, Maharaj, their devotees, their people really look for God. Their people really look. He would spend 4 years in jail. Their people really look for God. Then he did some campaign for book distribution there. So, very kind on his part. So, so the mind tends to, Haridas started preaching to them. He said, the mind tends to be absorbed in all objects of material enjoyment and brings great disturbance. But if by great fortune a person attains the association of devotee, then the mind is fixed on Krishna. So Haridas was preaching like this. So please don't even slightly lament that I gave you this blessing in an ambiguous way. Be happy forever. Stay like this. Actually, I meant your inner consciousness. I meant your internal mood. So Haridas was Mahabhagavat, and he said, I glance with equal vision to all living entities, and I wish them all to have love of God. Like this. So whether you're a householder, renunciate, whatever you are, don't forget these instructions at any cost. So Haridas wished all well to the prisoners and went to the king, bravely went to the king. When the king saw Haridas's brilliant effulgence, he respectfully offered him a seat. You see, Muslim king still was respectful. Actually, the king was milder. The very, very nasty one was the Qazi. He was really, really mean. So the king inquired, my dear brother, why do you have such a mentality? You took a pious birth of a Muslim, and now you've taken the ways of a Hindu. Why are you doing that Hindu practice? It's very foreign to us. We don't take even rice that's been cooked by Hindus or touched by Hindus. So why are you degrading yourself? You're born in a high family, Muslim family. Now you're transgressing your caste and religion and follow the religion of others. So I understand that you've performed a sin, but now I'm offering you this atonement. You can utter kalma. Kalma means like a quotation from Quran, some sutra from Quran, sutta from Quran, and then all of your sins will be forgiven. There's some special suttas you can utter. Kalma means word or statement. So certain suttas of Quran signify that you accept Muslim religion. So then Haridas simply laughed and said, how wonderfully the illusory energy acts. How wonderfully the illusory energy acts. When Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada came to the West, he said, we're not Hindus, we're not Muslims, we're not anything, those material designations. He said, Sarvapadi vinir muktam tatparatena nirmalam hrishikena hrishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchete. What is bhakti? Being freed from designations. Upadi. Sarva upadi vinir muktam. Completely freed. Tatparatena nirmalam. And completely be devoted to tatpara, means the Supreme Personality, Supreme Truth. Designation. No designations. A pure devotee is never saying, that one is Christian. No, I will not accept him. That one is a Muslim. I will not accept. Never. It's all spiritual vision. Totally spiritual vision. He sees the Atma. And the desire of the Atma to serve Krishna, that's all he sees. Such a personality. That's why it can help anyone. Anyone. Literally. Human form of life is the best. So, and that's why Haridas Thakur laughed. What kind of illusion, how wonderfully that illusion acts. Then he sweetly said to the king, listen, dear sir, the Supreme Lord is one without a second. The Hindus and Muslims differentiate the Lord only by the name. In spiritual vision, the Lord is one. That is confirmed in the Puranas and Quran. So the pure, eternal, non-dual, inexhaustible Lord sits in the heart of everyone. The Lord induces everyone to work in a particular way, and everyone in the entire world acts accordingly. The names and qualities of that Lord are chanted by everyone, according to the respective spiritual injunctions. The Supreme Lord accepts the devotion of everyone, but if anyone is envious of his children, then the Lord retaliates. Therefore, I'm only acting under the inspiration of the Supreme Lord. You can ask, if Haridas, someone can ask, if Haridas has that universal vision and sees everyone as the servant of God, potentially, so why couldn't he accept the proposition of Nawab and Qazi? Why couldn't he take Muslim religion? Because many people, spiritualists also, think that same which religion to practice. You can act according to Quran, Bhagavad Gita, Bible. That's the same. They think, many people think. Impersonalists also the same. What's his name? Ramakrishna also. He was worshipping first Kali, then he went to Christian practice, then he went to Krishna, anything. All religions, same, And many people I could preach to, they say, all religions, same goal, same. Yes, but there's a big but, There's differentiation. Say you want to study math, right? So you can, go to primary school and they will teach you 1 + 1, 2 + 2, 2 times 2, etc. Go forward in A, B, C, triangle. Okay. So not necessarily have to stay on that level forever. You go further. You'll study sinus, cosinus, all those things. You'll study equations. You'll study, relativity, sigmas, and different symbols. Further on, I'm not expert on those matters, But finally, you will understand how this universal, universe is, based upon that math. It's correlated. So in that same way, in all religions there are grades. There are 3 types of religion. You know that from Java Dharma. 3. Nitya Dharma, Naimitika Dharma, and Anitya Dharma. Nitya Dharma means eternal religion. That is Vaishnavism. That has never been created. It's eternal function of the soul to worship the Supreme Lord. That eternal religion is presented in many places throughout history, throughout geography of this planet, in different ways. I mean, universe, not only this planet. According to the consciousness of people, they're given such and such amount. Some people cannot take even the reincarnation doctrine. Some people cannot even become vegetarian. But they all are children of God, and they have a right to worship Him. So even those children who are not non-veg, even those children who are not much understandable. Even some tribes, some nations, they can also only worship demigods, even ghosts and spirits, and offer some flesh, human flesh, even to those in different gradations, different gunas. So, if you ask a phenomenal mathematician, why don't you stay on the level of ABC and 2 + 2 and 2 times 2? He will say, sorry, but I have to go further. I have to understand the principles. But those who cannot, little children, they're taught 2 + 2, A, B, C. Okay, that is for them. Very good. You can play with that. Then 2 + 3, 2 times 3, etc., etc. So the different levels, different presentations. That's why certainly Srila Haridas Thakur was immersed in the nectar of the holy name, and that's why he didn't accept the proposal of the Qazi to keep to Muslim religion. But he said, yes, the Lord is one, and according to consciousness, according to proclivities, different types of qualification. People worship the Lord in different ways. But by his own desire, a Hindu Brahmana may also become a Muslim, which happened throughout history massively. What can Hindus do? That is his karma, Hindus, If one is actually dead, then what is the use of killing him? Dear sir, now you can judge. I'm at fault. If I'm at fault, then you may punish me. That's it. Haridas was fearless. Fearless, we see this. Because let this body go, And Radha Krishna Pranamo Yugala Kishore Jivana Marani Gati Aranahimor. So Radha and Krishna always eternally my master and mistress and master. Whether I'm dead or alive, I'm always worshipping them. Always, always, always. Whether I'm dead or alive. So Haridas was not fearful, and we're learning how to be not fearful. So then the king was like not having so much motivation to punish Haridas, but the Qazi, sinful Qazi, instigated the king, punish him, punish him. This miscreant will simply create other miscreants and will bring a bad name to the Muslim community. Therefore, punish him in an extremely exemplary way, and at least make him recite the concession of the Quran. So the king again requested Haridas, so brother, just recite the confession from Kalam, and you'll have nothing to worry. Otherwise, the sinful Qazis will punish you, and you'll be forced to recite Quran anyway, and this way you'll be humiliated. Haridas said, Haridasa balaniya Karana Ishware, Tahabai are kya karitana pare. Haridas said, one cannot do anything other than what the Supreme Lord desires. It's a very, very deep phrase. The Supreme Lord desires what? Us to worship Him. He desires so much. So Haridas said, one cannot do anything other than what the Supreme Lord desires. So I will worship the Supreme Lord. Anyway, Haridas said, know for certain that the Lord awards the results of one's offenses, he said to the king. And he said one very, very wonderful phrase, which is quoted by our parampara, to give us example of what our mentality should be. Khanda khanda hai deha yayadi pran tabuya mivadanena chari harinam. Even if my body is cut into pieces and I give up my life, I will never give up chanting the Lord's holy name. Even if my body is cut to pieces. So Haridas Thakur uttered that. And it's great, great example for us. I remember how in Italy, in Venice, 2009, Srila Gurudev, on his last morning, before leaving, he gave a last speech, maybe 10 minutes, he spoke 15, not more than that, before leaving. Many devotees had left. He spoke just several things. He said, I want my disciples to always chant Diksha mantras and always chant the holy name. Please. I was shocked. Gurudev had to take special time to say into the mic publicly, to remind devotees that thing they had promised to their Guru before the holy fire and everything. Never give up the holy name. I was shocked, really. God, that is most, how to say, you can say, even egoistically, pleasurable engagement in the three worlds. What can be more pleasurable than chanting? What can be more pleasurable? But devotees, we can see nowadays just giving up like this, as if it's just, some type of, CD which you're really bored of, like this, and changing and doing something else. It's very, very grievous offense. But Haridas Thakur exemplified, you can do anything, I can give my life, no problem. I remember those devotees in Soviet jail, those heroes, Hare Krishna heroes. They were arrested by KGB. I was associated with that generation. I mean, I was associating with them. They were my seniors. End of 80s, beginning of 90s. They were put to jail. They were threatened. They were beaten. They were terrorized. Everything was tortured. Yes, tortured. With the red iron, with for ironing clothes. Yes, on their backs. Yes, everything was there. Yes, they're remembering that. They were making japa beads out of bread and salt. There were no beads facilities, certainly. And one devotee had a neighbor in his room. He had a neighbor in his room, and he was about to leave this body, that devotee. So the neighbor couldn't understand. The neighbor was an ordinary guy, and he had to leave for some business, for 20 minutes. And that devotee could understand he's leaving his body. There was just a week before he had to be released. His 2 years were over. The devotee from Armenia actually was. Shachisuta Prabhu. So he was he took some magazines, cut them and made garland out of them. Paper garland. Garlanded himself. And he applied some tilak made from toothpaste. And he was ready for departure from this world. And he sat in lotus posture like this. And he was sitting actually when his wardmate, he was about to leave. He was sitting like this, and he was talking to him. He was sitting and he was talking to him. And when the wardmate came back, and he was trying to talk to him again, he understood he had left. So that common guy, he was saying, I've just seen a saint. That was a real saint. He was very angry with those, certainly people from the jail. But that devotion to the holy name, and from the influence of those devotees who were real saints, all jail started chanting Hare Krishna like in the pastimes of Prahlad, those sons of demons, they started chanting. So they were all chanting at a certain point. So there are many, many, many stories. So these are the examples of Srila Haridas Thakur and the devotion of the holy name. And so Haridas said, Kande Kande Haide Adi Pran Kabuyami Vadane Nachari Harinam, that my body will be cut from many, many pieces. In my life I live, I will never leave the holy name. Never leave the holy name. After hearing Haridasa's statement, the king asked the Qazi, now what will we do with him? Qazi replied, he should be beaten in 22 marketplaces. Take his life in this way, that is my opinion. The marketplaces, like in India, bazaar, long street, many men with sticks standing. When one is pushed through one bazaar, or even maximum 2, the person gives up his life. It's not possible to survive. They're beating to death like this. So the Muslims started beating Haridas. But the Qazi said, let's see if he survives. If he survives being beaten in 22 marketplaces, then we'll understand. He's actually knowledgeable, and his words are true. Some understanding was still there, and he was saying, maybe he's really a saint. Who knows? But anyway, he deserves punishment for his impudent words. And Qazi called the guards and ordered them, beat him in the way that he will die. So if the Muslim who follows the Hindu religion is killed, then he'll be delivered from that sin. Like this. So the sinful king directed all those torturers to start the terrible business. But Haridas was simply Krishna Krishna Smarana Karina Haridas Namanandideha Dukkha Nahoya Prakash. Haridas simply remembered the name of Krishna and he felt no pain. Actually, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu covered his body fully. Gauranga Mahaprabhu covered his body and nobody was able to touch Haridas. But anyway, some touch was there, so his body became bleeding so much. And actually, all skin came off. All skin came off. There was no skin anymore. It was just bones, meat and bones. So Hindus who were around, they were horrified. And somebody said, the entire kingdom will be destroyed because they're torturing such a saintly person. Someone angrily cursed the king and the Qazi, and someone else was prepared to fight them. Another person fell at the feet of Muslim and said, I'll give you money. I'll give you anything. Please don't beat him. At least don't beat him so hard. Nevertheless, the sinful gods showed no mercy. And they continued angrily beating Haridas from market to market, market to market. So by the mercy of Krishna, Haridas felt no pain, in spite of heavy beating. You remember how Hiranyakashipu was torturing Prahlad? He failed totally. Prahlad was being thrown from a cliff. He was cast into the cage with wild animals like lions, etc. He was cast in, under the feet of elephants. All was in vain. When he was cast from the cliff, then Lord Vishnu was catching him, like holding him, so like a feather he was landing. Then lions were not touching him, coming and licking him instead. And the elephants couldn't trample him. So, there was, Hiranyakashipu had one sister, Holika. And that Holika had a mystic power. She had a magic chair. If a fire was going on, and if you sit on that chair, you're intact. So she said, she wanted to sit together with Prahlad. Oh, Prahlad, let's come sit with your auntie. And she lit a fire. And she was sitting in a chair, and Prahlad not. But she, anyway, was burnt, although she was in the chair, and Prahlad was intact, although he was not in the chair. So in commemoration of that Lila, great Holi festival is there. Holi, the festival of colors. So when Holi is burnt, then everybody is rejoicing by casting those colors. So will you come for Holi to Vrindavan? If you do, then you will see all those great. Possible, huh? Bhagavad Saptaha and Holi. So Prahlad was, remember, that is, Prahlad came as Haridas, so Haridas was in that same way protected by the Lord. So nevertheless, the sinful gods showed no mercy. They continued angrily beating Haridas from market to market. By the mercy of Krishna, Haridas felt no pain. And what to speak of Haridas, even one who remembers his activities immediately relieved from all material miseries. That's the blessing Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is giving. So, but Haridas was feeling sorry for all the sinful gods. Oh Krishna, please be merciful on these living entities. Forgive their offense of torturing me. He was praying for the torturers. He was praying for the torturers. So in this way, the sinful gods beat Haridas Thakur in the various marketplaces so severely that he was, another person could be dead, many, many hours ago, but Haridas was still not dead. So they were betraying him. Please, Haridas, please die. Please die. Otherwise, the Qazi will kill us. He will tell Nawab to kill us, and they will kill us. So please do. Oh, I'm much disturbance for you. Okay, I will die, Haridas said. I will die. And he was as if dead. He was as if having no life. He actually went into deep ecstatic trance. So then the torturers brought the transcendental body of Haridas Thakur to the Qazi. What to do with him now? So the king, I think, the king said that, oh, bury him. No, Qazi said, no, we cannot bury him because Muslim tradition, if one buries the body, then person goes to heaven anyway, some good destination. Throw his body to the Ganga, Qazi said. So they threw transcendental body of Srila Haridas in the Ganga, and the Ganges was so happy to be carrying the transcendental body of Haridas, and very gentle waves were carrying him, and Haridas miraculously came back to senses, and Ganga just took him to one of the banks, and he stood up and started chanting again, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, and walked towards Pulia. So he walked towards Pulia. And then the Muslims saw Haridas walking and chanting again. And they considered Haridas a powerful saint, so offered him obeisances. They were all delivered from material bondage when they paid obeisances to Haridas. So then Haridas met the king of Bengal and laughed mercifully, as if nothing happened. Actually, all of his wounds were treated also. There was nothing left. So king of Bengal folded hands and said, Satya Janilana Tumi Mahapira Eka Jnana Tomara Se Haya Chastira. Now I know for certain that you are a powerful saint, for you are firmly convinced that the Supreme Lord is one. Very important point, friends. This is the real fruit of the conviction that the Supreme Lord is one. What does it mean really? To understand the Supreme Lord is one. The Supreme Lord equally loves all living entities. But if some living entities are deeply in illusion, like these torturers, Muslims, then the Lord still loves them. So Haridas exemplifies that. And he saved them, from hell by forgiving them, them and the king. But I mean, not all torturers. Actually, those torturers who were very, very cruel, they were killed immediately. They immediately died. Some calamity, Like one time, 1994, I think it was, they, I don't remember the year exactly, but they destroyed the ISKCON temple in Yerevan, the capital of Armenia, and then one Russian city, Rostov, also the Cossacks came and destroyed the temple. They came on some, vehicle, some van. That very day or the next day, they all died in a car accident in that same van. All of them died. This very next day, I think so. In Rostov, that was the case. Like this. So in that same way, those torturers, they died immediately. But he forgave all those, like ordinary Muslims who understood, okay, this is great saint. And he talked to the king. Oh, sir, I've personally come to meet you, therefore please forgive all my offenses. The king. The king said to Haridas, oh, sir, all the so-called yogis and jnanis simply speak big words. And he begged forgiveness from Haridas. You are equal to everyone, both friend and enemy, but there is no one in the three worlds who can understand you. You're free to go whatever you wish. You may go stay in a cave on the bank of Ganga, wherever you desire. So Haridas Thakur stayed there, in a cave on the bank of the Ganga. But just see, what the mercy of pure Vaishnava is. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing manifestation. Most merciful, most merciful. Haridas was thinking, how he was thinking. You remember? He was thinking, I've heard so much blasphemy of the Lord, from, the king and all those Kazi. I've heard so much blasphemy. So when he was being beaten, he was thinking, Tateno kampam susamikshama, in that mood, Lord Brahma, actually, Haridas, the former manifestation of Haridas, Lord Brahma, when he had understood his mistake. He said, Tateno kampam susamikshama bunjana ivatma kritam vipakam. Thakur vidam namaste. Tapade sadaya bhak. In that verse he said, one who understands that all the calamities in life and all different manifestations of misery are coming because of my own misdeeds, and simultaneously continues to serve Krishna with body, mind and words, is actually true candidate for your mercy. Otherwise, not possible to get your mercy. Brahma says to Krishna. So that verse given to Srila Gurudev as the method of bhajan, that verse. The 3 C's Gurudev gave, 3 C's. Always never complain, never criticize, and always chant, C. Chant. So never complain, this verse, never complain. Why did it happen to me? Haridas said that, I could have been killed. I should have been punished actually, more severely. But this is just a mile. He was thinking, really thinking like this. Because I heard some blasphemy of the Lord, That's why that punishment came. So we should not be afraid. Anything can happen. Anything. This is a democratic country. Not so many people opposed, really. In Britain, Hare Krishna is part of national culture. They bring school children to the manor, etc. Soho Street as well. It's different. But in Germany, for example, I posted some photos of our Nagara Sankirtan in London to one Ukrainian family who are refugees, all our devotees, in Germany. And they live in a village like this, small town. So, the daughter said, Maharaj, why don't we go out in our village? So then the father said, the police immediately will grab us, because the neighbors will complain. In Britain, it's not I think it would never happen. Anyway, what I want to say, different situations, but much opposition can come to our movement, and anything can come. All Europe is now afraid of the war, and many things can happen, really. Many things can happen. But what we want to learn from this word, that's well-known pastime, isn't it? But we heard it today very, very diligently, like with all details necessary for us to prepare, because this is tolerance, which is very important. We mentioned in the beginning 4 things Mahaprabhu was teaching devotees, his devotees, but the example of these 4 devotees. So Haridas Thakur is for tolerance, tolerance. Trinada pi sunichana, tarora pi sahishnana, amanina manadina kirtaniya sadahari. These 4, you remember this, yeah? These 4 methods of bhajan, being more tolerant than, being more humble than a blade of grass, being more tolerant than a tree. So Haridas Thakur exemplifies this as well, being more tolerant than a tree. Amanina, not expecting your respect and honor for oneself, and always be ready to show respect to others. So Kirtaniya Sadahari, always you can chant the holy name only in that case. Otherwise, if you lack those 4, then you give up chanting very easily. Means you want to be glorified, you want to dominate over others, you want to be praised, all those things, You don't want to show respect to anyone else. And how can I chant Hare Krishna? To stop chanting Hare Krishna means no respect for Sri Guru, for mantra, for Krishna, for anyone. Yes. You can love all your relatives, you can love your country, you can love anyone, but if you don't love Krishna, means you don't love Guru, you don't love him. It's the same for you to chant or not to chant, It's not after initiation, it's not the time to ask that Shakespeare question, to chant or not to chant, No. When you're a hippie, you can ask yourself, chanting, not chanting. Oh, chanting, nice, actually. Okay, chant. Good question, good answer, But then don't think the opposite. But after you become a disciple, don't even think, because, That's why Srila Gurudev was saying, be like Haridas, that's for us. So, yes, so that is a devotion to the holy name. Well, today not completely new people, so what to speak else, because probably you've heard the story of the prostitute, huh? You've heard? Haridas and the prostitute? No. Oh, well, Radha Mohan Prabhu, I'm not asking you. Our merciful hosts and you haven't heard Lavanya, Haridas and the prostitute. Heard but never remembered, but someone even haven't heard. So okay, Nero, you remember the story of Haridas and the prostitute? Last time. Oh, Yamuna's house. Okay. Anandini remembers, yeah. Haridas prostitute, you don't remember? You didn't hear that story? Okay. So when Haridas was young, this was when he was, actually I want to say, when Mahaprabhu came to this world, 1486, Haridas was already old, like maybe 60, 70, like this. He was like already old. And then he came, still he was there when Mahaprabhu was performing his youthful pastimes. But when he was very young, he was in another location where the great offender of the Vaishnavas, Ramachandra Khan, was ruling. There was one ruler, his name was Ramachandra Khan, and he was totally against saints somehow. And when Haridas came, and he was chanting in a hermitage, then Ramachandra was very, very, very disturbed. And he wanted to blaspheme, to defame Haridas. He called all the little, young prostitutes of the town. And he said, listen, girls, there's one task. There's that saint, Haridas. You have to defame him. You have to seduce him and defame. And then I'll send you give me a notice, then I'll send my soldiers and just spot him and defame him. So the girls, most of them were quite pious, actually, holding to Hindu traditions. So they ran away. They didn't want to hear. But there was one very, very attractive, beautiful, 16-year-old prostitute called Lakshahira. So she said, oh, Khan or Rula, don't worry. Tomorrow Haridas will forget the name of Krishna and he will remember my name. He will chant the name of Lakshahira. And Lakshahira came in the evening to that place where Haridas was chanting in a solitary place. And she sat there and she was hearing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haridas was chanting. She sat and first thing she did, imagine Indian culture, paid obeisances to Tulsi. Here you go. A prostitute on a very, very bad mission, especially like very sinful, like million times more sinful than just with any other man. She wanted to seduce a saint. So anyway, obeisances to Tulsi, understand? Indian culture. I remember one time in Vrindavan, Gundas, the robbers, dacoits. attacked one temple, where the Acharya was Westerner, well known anyway. So they caught him, said, give us all your money. Give us all your money in the middle of the night. Otherwise we'll shoot you now. Okay, he had to give all the money, everything, every computer, everything. And while leaving, they said, Radhe Radhe, and left. So Radhe Radhe. So in that same way, Lakshahira worshipped Tulasi. Culture, culture to say Radhe Radhe, culture to worship Tulsi. Even if your intention's not so good, still, So, but she sat and listened, and Haridas was chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Oh, and then she said, first she was posing nice female postures. And, Haridas, you're so attractive. No lady could really stand and say, hold before you. So please fulfill the desire of my heart. Please unite with me in a solitary place. I'm asking you, please. Haridas said, yes, sure, you stay. I have a vow, to accomplish certain amount of names. Now I'm going through that vow. And every day I chant practically 24 hours. When I finish that vow, I promise I definitely fulfill your desires. You stay. So Haridas put her in the situation of sadhu sangha, with bad intentions. There were some amazing stories. Some started from thievery, robbery, then became devotee. Wanted to steal, wanted to rob, So prostitute was on her mission. So then the night finished, and Haridasa, I'm so sorry, I haven't finished my vow, so I have to continue. Come tomorrow evening. I really promise I will fulfill your desire. Lakshahira came another time, again paid obeisances to Tulasi, and sat, and Haridas was chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare. And Lakshahira was sometimes, Krishna, oh, Ram, like this. Okay, night passed. At the end of the night, Haridas again said, I'm so sorry, I couldn't fulfill my vow. I have to chant more. But tomorrow night, again come. I really promise I will fulfill your desire. So then the Lakshahira came again. Again, sometimes she was saying, Ha Krishna, Haram, like this. But then a change happened in her heart. She was fully changed. And she understood, I'm a great fallen person. So she worshipped lotus feet of Shri Haridas Thakur and said, Oh Haridas, I'm a greatest sinner. I was sent by Ramachandra Khan, the ruler, to seduce you, to defame you. So please give me a mercy, give me a mercy. Tell me what I should do. Haridas Thakur said, all right, you leave all of your riches, give that away. All of your decorations, all of your luxurious types of clothing, leave everything and come back only with one white sari. It's a female sign of renunciation, like saffron for gents, for ladies sari. Come here and chant the holy name 300,000 times and circumambulate Tulasi daily. So the pious people, the Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, they were so much happy and they were so much impressed by that the former prostitute became a great saint. So Lakshahira became the famous disciple of Srila Haridas Thakur, like this. So she was actually Maya personified, and she came. There was another story when Maya personified came to seduce Haridas, but same story like is told in another place, like this. So that's the devotion of the holy name of Srila Haridas Thakur. So you want to hear more stories about Haridas? I don't know, today is not his disappearance day, but like if you want. So when the Muslim ruler, Nawab, told Haridas, you can wander freely, you can sit any way you like and chant. Haridas went to a cave on the bank of the Ganga, and people were coming every day to see him. People were taking his instructions of the holy name. So, but somebody noticed some bad smell, going from... Haridas was not noticing, but some fishy or snaky type of smell was coming from the cave. So somebody said, "Oh, Haridas, actually, there's a snake living here, probably, because we can hear some very, very bad smell." And then Haridas said, "Oh, if by the power of the holy name this snake doesn't go out and leave, then I will go. All right." And he continued chanting, and the snake immediately, beautiful snake, like with green, how to say, patterns and, different ornaments, like with some type of jewel on her head, crawled out of some hole, in the cave and left like this immediately. Another time, Haridas Thakur was walking in one town, and he noticed a snake charmer. Snake stories. So snake charmer, he noticed a snake charmer, and the snake charmer was playing some type of reed instrument, some flute, that, and the snake was standing like this, like they show in India often. So, and Haridas immediately remembered Kalia, how Krishna was dancing on Kalia, on the hoods of Kalia. Remember that story? We went to that place in the beginning of Parikrama. Krishna was dancing on the hoods of Kalia, of the snake, was sitting in a little lake by Yamuna. Kalia was the only demon Krishna hadn't killed. He sent him back to Ramantadvip, where he was coming from. That's Fiji nowadays. Nowadays in Fiji there's a cult of snakes somehow. So anyway, so big story, but Haridas immediately remembered that, and the snake charmer also, he was a devotee, was remembering the story of how Krishna chastised Kalia, and he was just in ecstatic mood. And then everybody started touching Haridas Thakur's lotus feet, and the dust, touched by his lotus feet like this, taking. And he was in ecstatic manifestations, crying and rolling on the ground like this. And then one Brahmana, envious Brahmana. Nowadays, Kali Yuga, Brahmanas sometimes envious, sometimes nasty towards Vaishnavas. So he was, that Haridas, is a Malechka, according to his background, like Muslim, etc. And he is showing off some symptoms. And I'm a Brahmana, why not me? So let me also show something. So he started the theater, so show. So the charmer was playing the flute, and he's like this. But people were not even thinking of touching his feet, Nobody thought. But snake charmer became very disturbed, and he took a stick and started beating that man. So that man with the shouts, "Bapa, Bapa," Bapa means father, father, ran away. No more ecstasy, mother, father, help me, police, ran away. So then people asked the snake charmer, "Why did you beat that man? And when didn't you touch Haridas?" They were doing as if the same symptoms. And then the king of snakes, from the mouth of the snake charmer, started speaking. He said, since Haridas Thakur was really a very, very exalted devotee, his symptoms were genuine, so he was really, really immersed in the nectar of the holy name. And that pretender was just an envious Brahmana. That's why he was beaten. And many, many other things glorifying the holy name. The snake charmer, like through the mouth of the snake charmer, the king of snakes said. So Srila Haridas Thakur was called, as we said, the Acharya of the holy name by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in the very end of his pastimes in Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu put him into samadhi with his own hands. So Mahaprabhu knew that Haridas would not be allowed to Jagannath temple, being a Muslim. Like he was called by Brahmanas Yavan Haridas. So Yavan means non-Vedic, of non-Vedic origin, non-touchables, untouchables. So he was not be allowed into Jagannath temple. So, but Mahaprabhu gave him a place to perform bhajan. That is called Siddha Bakul. Under the tree of Bakul, Haridas Thakur was seated in Jagannath Puri. Every day Mahaprabhu was coming to him. Every day he was receiving instructions on the holy name. Because he is Namacharya. The Acharya of the holy name is holy master, exemplifying the deep taste for the holy name, the deep realization of the ecstatic essence of the holy name. So those instructions Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur then recorded in his meditation in the book Harinama Chintamani. Remember the name? Harinama Chintamani. Very, very necessary book to read for all the devotees. Please read it, download and read. Very easily, one click you can. Harinama Chintamani. If you Chintamani means the philosophical stone, the what's it? Touchstone of the holy name, Chintamani. Because Harinama Tuva Aneka Swarupa, the holy name can fulfill all desires, any desires. So Srila Haridas Thakur was chanting there 300,000 names, 300,000, 3 lakhs, means 192 rounds. Resting only maybe 1.5, 2 hours like this. So there's still that tree, Bakul, living there. The original Bakul gave up his body, but through the root of that Bakul, another sprout grew, and then another one. So very, very transcendental shape of that tree, still extended. Devotees come and they hang some clay medals, with their desires, the blessings. Oh, Haridas, please give blessing. It is said that one round chanted in that place, the Samadhi of Haridas, Bhajan Kutir Haridas, his murti is also there. One round chanted in that place is equal to 1,000 rounds chanted in any other place. So like this, devotees come, devotees chant. So once Govinda, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's servant, came to visit Haridas Thakur there. And he was lying down and not chanting. Why are you not chanting? Oh, I'm old now. I mean, my body is okay. Are you sick, Haridas? My body is okay, but my mind is not okay. I think Govinda told Mahaprabhu, then Mahaprabhu came. And Mahaprabhu said, oh Haridas, you're old already, and no need for you to chant so much. You have to reduce the number of rounds. And then Haridas prayed to Mahaprabhu. He said, oh my Lord, my only desire is to see your lotus face at the time of my departure. I cannot tolerate your departure, so I want to depart before you. So then Mahaprabhu understood Haridas Thakur's thought, and he came back with huge group of kirtan. And great kirtan started. Great kirtan started. The kirtan was very, very deep. Mahaprabhu was experiencing ecstatic symptoms. And Haridas was lying down and with unblinking eyes, observing beautiful lotus face of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I was watching him. Yes. Thus he left. So Mahaprabhu took the transcendental body of Sri Haridas Thakur on his own arms, and he went to the ocean. He was dancing with the transcendental body of Haridas. and washed his transcendental body in the waves of the ocean. And he proclaimed, from this day on, this ocean is proclaimed to be the holy Tirtha, the whole place of pilgrimage. Because the transcendental body of Srila Haridasa Thakur washed the waters of this ocean. Bay of Bengal, that. But so we worship that ocean also because Haridasa Thakur's body is. So then Mahaprabhu started digging the sand with his own hands. On his own transcendental hands, he put Srila Haridasa Thakur's transcendental body into the sand, and all the devotees started putting the sand onto the body of Srila Haridasa Thakur. Thus Mahaprabhu put the body of Srila Haridasa Thakur into Samadhi. And then Mahaprabhu went to Ananda Bazar, that is the market where so much Jagannath Prasad is available in front of Jagannath temple. Mahaprabhu took his uttariya and started begging, please give me donations in the form of prasadam for the feast commemorating the all auspicious departure of Srila Haridasa Thakur. So they were giving, all the vendors were contributing, giving some, but since Mahaprabhu was having difficulty, to carry, so Swarup Damodar, I think he engaged some 4 strong men. They were collecting everything and they were carrying all Mahaprasadam to the shore of the ocean. So there, again, Kirtan started, and after the Kirtan, Mahaprabhu sat everyone down, and himself he was distributing Mahaprasadam for all the devotees. Great, great feast in the commemoration of departure, holy departure of Srila Haridasa Thakur happened. And then Mahaprabhu proclaimed, everyone who was participating in this great festival of Srila Haridasa Thakur's departure, everyone who was serving in any way, who was partaking of the Mahaprasadam at the feast, will definitely achieve the ecstatic love of Krishna by the mercy of Srila Haridasa Thakur. So, although today is not the disappearance of Srila Haridas, we remember him. What to say? I was just, about to tell about the glory of the holy name to some neighbors, some new people who were about to come, but instead today was a very, voluminous class for devotees, and we remembered Srila Haridasa Thakur today. So some other stories I couldn't tell with more detail because it was concentrating mostly on this chastisement of Haridas Lila, that Lila. So, Shri Namacharya Haridas Thakura ki jai. So we are taking great example from Srila Haridas Thakur, and everyone should, especially initiated disciples, should take a vow, the same vow as Srila Haridas Thakur had taken. Khande khande harideha yadi yadi pran kabuyami vadanena chari harinam. Let my body be cut in thousands of pieces. Let the life air of this body leave. I will never give up the holy name. Never give up the holy name. Never give up the holy name. Srila Gurudev in festivals used to make us such a vow. I remember Moscow 2001. Srila Gurudev said, I will never give up the holy something like that, more or less. I will always practice Shuddha Bhakti like this. So we're taking vow 3 times. So there is no way back. And we have to know that if it's very difficult in life, sometimes it happens. Some events, some attacks from Maya, laziness, relatives, neighbors, jobs, anyone, any factors, personal life, whatever. The personality who will always save us and give us the right direction and give us force to persevere is the holy name, because our life has to be all about the holy name. Devotion to the holy name must be the basis of our life, like this. Somebody's still coming. Oh, some guests. Some neighbors. Some neighbors came. Hare Krishna. Neighbors came. Oh, so lovely.
Not the neighbours, but.
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
I think you haven't met.
Hare Krishna. Good evening. Welcome. Some lovely people came just at the end of class. No problem, no problem. Sorry. Good evening. Very nice to have you. Most welcome. If you're, you can sit on the sofa if you like. Otherwise, that's okay. You like lotus posture? It's a pleasure posture. It's called. So very lovely people came. The neighbors of Pran and Lavanya. So we just finished our main subject. So we have very casual discussion. We'll have just some last words in the form of some casual discussion today for our dear new friends. So our practice, Bhakti Yoga, or Yoga of Love and Devotion, is based upon chanting of the holy name. In the course of history, there were many methods of achieving perfection in spiritual paths. So in Satya Yuga, in the Golden Age, which was like some millions years ago according to calculation of cosmology, the method of achieving perfection was meditation. Everybody was meditating. Have you tried any meditation?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. So before it was very, 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 very common. Sorry, I didn't ask your good names, please. Kevin and Sarah. Very nice to see you. I'm Sadhu Maharaj, otherwise just Maharaj you can call me. Sadhu Maharaj is Bhaktivedanta Sadhu Maharaj's full name, otherwise Sadhu Maharaj, otherwise Maharaj, no problem. So meditation was really possible during Satya Yuga, during Golden Age. People lived very long. They were all very pious. You can imagine, like theoretically, but difficult to imagine, but there was no sin in the society. Totally pious, no sin. So everybody was going to spiritual world, transcendental world. Sorry, we don't have our cosmology map today to show you where is like a geography, but imagine two spheres. The higher sphere is the spiritual world, and the material world is lower sphere. Material world, there are many universes. Our universe is one of them. So within that universe, many living entities within the 14 planetary systems, and the Earth belongs to number 8 planetary system, which is in the middle. So the Earth is just a starting point, like a cosmodrome, right, for going to the spiritual world through the methods of spiritual realization. So in Satya Yuga, in the Golden Age, the method was meditation. Everybody was very peaceful. Everybody was massively going to spiritual world from material world. Then Silver Age came. This is like morning, daytime, evening, and night. So in the daytime, the sun shines more, right? So there was some more sin, some sin evolved in Silver Age, and the method of achieving perfection changed. That was already fire sacrifice. So fire sacrifice, swaha, those Indian, if you have seen in movies maybe or documentaries. So they still do now, but not on daily basis. Like in Silver Age, on daily basis, there was yagya, the method. So they were going to spiritual world by that. Then more sin came, and there was Dwapara Yuga, or Copper Age, the age of copper. And people started, before they were also doing, but especially worshipping the deities in the temples. So you can see here, I didn't take my pointer today, I think. Okay, you can see the deities here, in our temples worshipped today. So scientists and people in general popularly call them idols, but that's not the proper name. It's deities is the proper name. So Vigraha, otherwise. That's the Lord himself. Vi means special and Graha means manifestation. Very special manifestation of the Lord. So nowadays we also worship deities, but it's not the main method. So people who don't like this idea of worshipping a deity can be given a good example. If the Lord is everywhere, the Lord is everywhere. Why not in the deity also? Deity also. So it's a very convenient way for envisioning him, because we cannot see the Lord with our eyes right now. We need spiritual vision. We don't have spiritual vision. And when we see the image, or let us say, we can say the statue, whatever, so we can see him with our own eyes right now. Like a saintly person. A saintly person actually is not from this world. He has a spiritual body, he or she. But since he came here or was practicing here and then achieves perfection, there are two ways, then his body is visible for us. And that is very valuable because we can see. But actually, although the body consists of stones, bones, and those blood, meat, etc., actually it's not material at all. It's just a, visible manifestation. So then Kali Yuga came. Kali Yuga is the sinful age now. It's very short also, only 432,000 years. I'm a bad mathematician. 432,000 years only. It's a short period. Just the beginning of Kali Yuga, 5,000 years just elapsed. So the only method is chanting of the holy name. Other methods don't really work. They are. Meditation is there. Fire sacrifice is there. Deity worship is there. But not. They don't really work so much. You can send me those photos after because I forgot my camera. Thank you. You haven't taken. You can take some. Yeah, you can take. Yeah, we can take general photo at the end. Yeah. So. Yeah, that's why this method is very, very easy. Anyone can practice. A child can practice. A person without any background, any education can practice. Say, we were not born in Vedic culture, right? We were born abroad. And we don't know, those like codes of Brahminical life, standards of purity, and, the mantras, the initiation, everything. We're not gone through. But now, if we purify ourselves by chanting of the holy name, consciousness purifies very rapidly because it's the best means to achieve perfection. So then qualified guru, spiritual master, can give us initiation and we'll really be prepared for practicing, our perfect life. And what is our perfect life? That is a life in spiritual body. Right now we have material body. This material body of two parts, gross and subtle. The gross body is made of 5 elements, mostly in our planet. Element Earth is prevalent. So ether, air, water, fire, earth, fire, earth. So Earth is prevalent, and also water, so much. There's some planets, people have entities. They have fiery bodies, like Jupiter, for example. Yes, they have fiery bodies, we don't see them. Or Venus, they have ethereal, I think, bodies, etc. So we don't see them. But these physical, earthly bodies we can see. But the main body we have to develop is spiritual body. This spiritual body belongs totally to spiritual world, not material world. But in material world, we say that we also exist. So what is the source of our existence? If our body, we say, is not material, spiritual, it's material, but we exist somehow. We feel, we touch, we say. Where is it coming from? Life. Where is it coming from? What do you think? I think you're spiritualists, right, Kevin? You can.
Sorry?
You're spiritualists, right? Like you're not materialist. I mean, your interests are rather spiritual, right? Mm-hmm.
You could say that, yeah.
Oh, so my question is like, what do you think about the source of life? Where's life? If life, material, world is materials, where is life really coming from then? If the world is totally material.
That's the question.
So life in this material world comes from life in spiritual world. There's a formula: life comes from life. So in this material world, we are spirit souls. Spirit souls in material world. So soul is totally spiritual, like active agent given by the Supreme Lord, how to say, introduced by the Supreme Lord into the spiritual world. We all come from the transcendental glance of Lord Vishnu. This is like, okay, cosmology, some names may be given. So at the time of creation, he's casting glance on the sum total of material energy here. And we are the actually impregnating agents of the sum total of matter. So that's why the matter is alive, we can feel these elements. All stones are actually live, also living entities. Very, very primitive consciousness, but still. And whatever a person takes, some wood, some stone, some this, that creates something that's created by the man. So from material elements, but the initial elements also so much, how to say, spiritualized. Yeah. So our point just is that by the process of yoga, which means unity, to develop our consciousness from material to spiritual. That's the simple way, like transformation. Spiritual consciousness, spiritual vision, and we can see supreme harmony everywhere. This world is full of harmony. But unfortunately, we lose the feeling of harmony nowadays. There's so many artificial, ways, presented by the power of illusion, Maya, also belonging to the Supreme Lord, and one of his energies. It's called Maya. The word, Sanskrit word Maya, consists of the two roots, like two parts. Ma means not, Ya means that. Maya, not that. That which is not. So we see, it's actually a manifestation of Maya. Right. Illusion. But if we want spiritual development, then we, even though there are elements of Maya, we engage that in spiritual cultivation. For example, this computer, right? Or this microphone, anything. We can play something, about temporary manifestation of this world, like temporary love, for example, which disappears after some time, as we well know. It disappears. It's not eternal. But if we sing the same guitar, for example, about love of God, which is transcendental and never disappearing, then it's another quality. So then, although this is an object of Maya, illusion, like guitar or computer, when it's engaged in the service, this bhakti means service, and this yoga of love and devotion, dedication, then it becomes spiritualized, totally spiritualized. Okay, I'm speaking so much, I don't know how it sounds to you. It's okay? Fine. All right. So simply, we're just, how to say, finalizing. What we're hearing today about one very, very great saint, Srila Haridas Thakur, who was Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So all the time he was chanting, practically 24 hours, sleeping maybe 1.5 hours like this. He was especially empowered incarnation of a Brahma, the great father of the universe, we can say. Also, he's the head of our spiritual school, Sampradaya, from Brahma coming. So he said that all class was about that verse. He said, Kanda kanda kaideham paderi pran kabuyami vadanena chari harinam. Let my body be cut into thousands of pieces, and let my bodily, my air in my body fly away. Still, I will be chanting my holy name, chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name. At that time, India was in the under the Muslim occupation. So Muslim ruler complained to the Muslim king, and they grabbed Haridas and told him, "Oh Haridas, you were born." He was born in a Muslim family. "Oh Haridas, you were born in the pure Muslim family. Why are you taking to this foreign ways of the Hindus?" And Haridas said, "Oh, the Lord is everywhere. And, if you're a Brahmana, you can take to Muslim religion, and vice versa. There is no difference. And all the children of God like this, but they didn't like it. And Kazi said that since Haridas was very popular as a saint, so many Hindus were coming to him and listening to him, touching his feet like this. So then Kazi, the Muslim ruler, said, has to be punished. And very severely he was punishing him, beating him with sticks, putting him through 22 marketplaces. One marketplace after one marketplace, with the torturers standing with sticks all over, passing him through. He was to death. So 22 marketplaces. But Krishna was protecting him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, great manifestation of Krishna, were all under, the Golden Lord. He was protecting Haridas. He was protecting him. And although there were some scars, etc., actually it said that there was no more skin, but he was not feeling any pain because Mahaprabhu was preserving him. He was taking away all of his pain. He could not feel pain. So then the torturers just were begging, "Please, Haridas, please die." He was not dying. "Please die, because otherwise the Kazi, the ruler, will kill us." "Oh, you want me to die? Okay, sorry, I'm so much disturbing you." "Yes, I will die." "Okay." So he went into ecstatic trance, totally in inner consciousness, which is like externally looking like death. So then they brought his body to the king. The king was more lenient. What to do with him? The king said, "Okay, bury him." No. Kazi, the ruler, local ruler, said, No. It's not proper to bury him because he will go to heaven. Throw his body into Ganga." Okay, so they threw transcendental body of Haridas Thakur to Ganga. The Ganga Devi was so happy to carry the transcendental body of Haridas Thakur, and he came back to his senses. Back to his senses, and again walked on the bank, and again was chanting, "Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare." And his body was again without any scar. So then, at the beginning, when the Nawab and the Qazi were administering that punishment, they said that we'll see in the end. If you don't die, then maybe you're a saint, like this. Then we'll recognize you, like this. Even Qazi said. So all Muslims fell at his feet. "We can see you're a great saint." But the torturers who were really torturing him, all of them were destroyed by the power of the Lord. So, and the king accepted him. And the king apologized, "Please forgive me, I didn't recognize you as a great saint. So I'm now allowing you, please stay wherever you like and chant the holy name wherever you like." So he was staying in the cave, in the bank of the Ganga, and was chanting. And many, many more stories were heard. But that is a dedication to the holy name, because the holy name of the Lord is not different from him. In this material world, the objects and the name are different. If I think about my friend who is far away or is gone, so he will not come. Some mental image will be there, maybe some photo we can see, but the person will not come. But the holy name, coming especially from the mouth of a great devotee, is Krishna himself. So there are four, qualities: nama, rupa, guna, lila. Name, form, quality, pastimes. They're all in the same line, all identical. Name, form, qualities, pastimes. Like activities, pastimes, we say, like the great games of the Lord, you know, his activities. Krishna is very playful. You heard about Krishna, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Krishna is very, very playful. So when the devotee hears about Krishna, then immediately Krishna's pastimes are within his heart. And it's said that Krishna dances on the tongue of the devotee. So that's why name and pastimes at once. One in one, how to say, block, in one sum total. So, but we hear the name Krishna, Hare Krishna. Some impression is there, right? Let's try to say 3, 4. Hare Krishna. Louder, louder. Hare Krishna. See, some nice feeling is there, right? Right. Some, not just, you know, Coca-Cola. No, something else. Some inner essence, isn't it? So that's why when we chant all the time, we repeat, we meditate. This is called continuous meditation. When the continuous meditation is going on, then we are coming in our, how to say, consciousness, in our spiritual progress, from the stage of offensive chanting. Like we do some offense, we criticize someone, we neglect something like this, some mistakes, to the shadow of the holy name. A shadow is almost an object, like this guitar has a shadow. I can see, oh, there's a shadow of a guitar. So I can see that's the guitar, right? So in that same way, okay, shadow of the holy name already frees you from karma. You have no more karma when you chant the holy name. The karma will not get you anymore. You're free. And then you're fully in the jurisdiction of Krishna. Then Krishna really directs you. It's a very mysterious thing, actually. Deep, has to be discussed a lot. But and then this pure holy name, that's the level, highest level. So when the pure holy name, the pure devotee chants, then these 4, name, form, quality, and pastimes, are all together. No break. We can see, we can hear the name, but cannot see the form. Cannot conceive of the pastimes, cannot conceive of the qualities right now. We can hear something, you know, something from there, something from someone, something we read, something we heard, something, oh, Krishna was like this. Oh, that's that pastime, I remember. Oh, I forgot. I heard that pastime, then I forgot, like this. But the name, like when you chant constantly, then you remember more pastimes and you progress in chanting. So therefore, so many verses, so many places in scripture, and so many narrations are just meant to remind us about Krishna. There are just 2 rules: to remember Krishna and never forget in this process. That's yena tena prakarena mana Krishna niveshayat. Sarvavidi nishedas eva kinkara. So there are so many rules and regulations, but there are 2 regulations, actually, only 2. Always remember Krishna, never forget. We tend to forget. Problem. At once problem comes. When you forget Krishna, then problem comes. Problem comes, right? So for example, a young man is in love, or a young girl, with a young girl, yeah. They're always thinking of each other. Yeah. But when forgetting, at once problem comes. Like for him, you know, some unpleasurable experience, etc. It's a very material example, but sometimes, you know, breaks into his life and he forgets about the beloved, or vice versa. At once problems. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami said, Yuvatinam yata yuni yunam cha yuvato yata mano biramatitadvan mano niramatam tvayi. Oh, I'm praying the Lord, oh Lord, please let my mind be always concentrated upon you in that same way as the young girl is always concentrated upon young boy, and vice versa. Yuvatinam, Yuvati means young girl, Yuna means young boy, and Yuna to Yuvati means the young boy to young girl. So it's spontaneously attracted. So I'm praying so that my mind is spontaneously attracted to Krishna in that same way. Yuvatinam yatha yuni yunam cha yuvato, as Srila Rupa Goswami said. As young boys to young girls to young boys. So we're praying for that, you know. That is spontaneous. Like we're in material situation and we're attracted, like to opposite sex, like without any advertisement. Oops, and contact is there. It's called lust. You know. So if you dive your finger into something, you know, like pink or some red, you know, immediately it's red. The contact. The world is like this. So, or you're in very clean clothes and now so muddy around, you know, we're walking around, so muddy. So immediately you're stuck into mud and then you have to wash it. So like, you know, but our mind and our attachment to Krishna is so natural, you know, that the mind becomes, how to say, accepts all qualities of Krishna. It becomes Krishnized, you know. Manmanasa madhukara marpaya nijapada pankaja makarande. So that our mind will be always concentrated on Krishna. That's our prayer. We sang today. Yamuna Devi sang this song. So Manmanasa madhukara. Let the bee of my mind. The bee always sees only nectar. And the fly sees some different things. You know? For fly, actually, it's the same, whether it's a jam or something else. You know, so same sweetness. You know, for the fly, stupid fly. You know, everything is good. You know, so sometimes people are very proud. I'm universal. I can go here, I go there, I go here. I'm fine, and there I'm fine, and very happy. You know. And then see what next. Somebody will take that fly and use stupid nonsense. Source of infection, killed. All right, so the mind should become like a fly. Oh, so Hare Krishna. Sadhu Maharaj, too many electronics. Like a bee, bumblebee, Manasa Madhukara. Let my mind become like a bee. And the bee wants only what? Nectar. The bees are very expert at collecting nectar in different flowers. The scientists, you know, those zoologists and who are specialists on the insects, they know how each bee is expert, or bumblebee is expert at collecting particular type of nectar from particular type of flowers. It's like a experienced flower bouquet maker, you know, how to make a bouquet. They want very, how to say, sometimes they need very special type of flowers, very special type of nectar, a special type of taste. You know, the combination of some colors also brings taste, so much taste, you know. So this is called rasa, that is called taste, right? So, but the people of this world are like flies, you know. Okay. The same, I went to Hare Krishna restaurant, okay, tasty. Went to some other restaurant, meat and fish restaurant, also tasty, you know, same for them, you know. So sometimes here, sometimes there, not differentiation. The spiritual life is all about differentiation, is understanding, you know, the essence, what is proper, what is really tasty, and what is temporarily tasty. Like this. So experience tastes in this world, so also a lot of tastes, a lot of flavors, especially at every corner, so many tastes. All right, but you know, when you engage in those tastes too much, then you get satiation and you get disease, like diarrhea, like what's it, hepatitis, what's it called? Too much sweet, then you get diabetes, exactly. So in this world, there's consideration of too much. Okay, limit. This is the world of limits. Material world is the world of limits. In spiritual world, unlimited variety of tastes. It never ends. It will never. You will never get satiated there. It's very difficult for us to realize because we are from the world of time, and time is what? Death personified. Everything ends. We're having a nice hearing now, nice conversation, but unfortunately will end soon. I have to announce, you know, soon. Right? The satiation will be there. We have to take the body, we have to sleep, we have to, you know, wake up for work tomorrow morning, like blah blah, you know. So you're like, oh yes, it's boring already. You're nodding, boring, recognizing it. Okay. Well, spiritual world is completely different. The spiritual world, it's unlimited variety, and the more you get into taste, the more flavor you get, and the deeper and deeper, and it's endless. Very difficult for us to, because we're not possible, not possible, endless, not possible, forever, not possible. Like we can write, broken heart on the wall and love forever. We say, another guy, more experienced. Forever. Okay, forever. We're experienced. We're beaten by that, beaten and bitten both. But in spiritual taste, there's no difficult to ascertain, difficult to experience, but limitless depth, like limitless depth and limitless flavor, which is growing. There are some examples in this world, like a kaleidoscope, How many ornaments can you make with kaleidoscope? Too difficult to say. Still limited. How many flowers? Different varieties of flower. And within one species of flower, how many sorts, How many pieces of sand on one beach? How many stars in the sky? Still limited. Although seemingly unlimited. But every, material manifestation has its limits. It's limited. Because it will end, that's why limited. Unlimited in the sense that not possible to conceive how, but it's still limited. Creation is like this. Huge. Seemingly unlimited, but limited. By the way, the number of universes also are limited. Trillions, several trillions. I don't remember exactly, but like hundreds of trillions something. Universes. One universe is our egg. So what I want to say that limited, unlimited, temporary, eternal. So this material world is still limited, still temporary. According to schedule, those epochs, right? Epochs. Those cosmic ages change according to cosmology. We mentioned the 4 yugas, the 4 ages: golden, silver, copper, iron. So they change, like morning, daytime, evening, nighttime. It's going schedule like this. But everything is limited. Everything has to end, and the time is the factor which is like death personified. But also that's the Lord. Time I am, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. Time I am the time. But the holy name is not controlled by time. That's the thing. In the same way as the spiritual world is not controlled by time and space. No time there, no space there, no karma there. Karma is only in this material world. Spiritual world, no birth, no death, no karma, no old age, no disease, nothing. What is there? At once we're panicking. What is there then? No birth, no death, no life. This is our life. Life means death. Life, death, old age, disease. How come? We live forever. But how forever? We can understand. No birth? How no birth? Okay, Brahma was born, the creator of this universe, from a, navel of Mahavishnu. Garbhodakasha Vishnu, on lotus, on a stem. Okay, he was born. But Vishnu, from whom was he born? Was he born? No, it's manifestation of the Lord, and the Lord is never born. Simply some manifestations can be manifest when the world, this material world, is manifested, because material world has beginning and the end. And in the midst of the manifestation also there are many stages. So during those stages, certain incarnations related to the material world can manifest. And in spiritual worlds, all those, see my cosmology map, if we didn't know you would come, so we would have hung it here. But anyway, hopefully tomorrow, in Fair Warp, we'll hang it. So, yeah, those manifestations of the Lord in the spiritual world, existing forever. Because spiritual world is Sat, Chit, Ananda, eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Those three principles always manifest. This material world, quite the opposite. No eternity, no knowledge, no bliss. No eternity, it's quite clear. No knowledge, how come no knowledge? People are studying universes, what are you saying, dear Swami? No, that knowledge is limited. And limited means no, practically no. Because by empirical means, they're going towards transcendence and they're bumping their heads. They're going, cannot. The heads against what? False ego. The principle of false ego, because false ego is the layer of the universe, thickest one. The 5 material elements, and mind, the level of mind, 10 times thicker level of intelligence, then false ego, the thickest. They cannot break through the false ego. Bumping back, cannot go beyond. So they cannot understand, transcend the spiritual principles, they cannot understand. So they're, okay. That's a popular example of a frog, puffed out frog, puffed up frog. How big is the ocean, The frog lives in a well. And who came to the frog? Is that another frog, no? Okay, another, I don't know, fish, whoever, who has been to the ocean, back to the native well, And the frog, old frog living there. So, oh, where have you been? You've been away. I've been to the ocean, The ocean, I was, floating, swimming there, here, there, everywhere. And then back to my well, through underwater, under earth channels, to say hello to my relatives. How is it? Oh, it's very big. How big? Bigger than my well? Oh, yes, sure. Bigger than my well. Your well, bigger. How bigger? Like 2, like 3, like 20, like this big, like this big, like that big, like that. How? Tell me how? Like that? What? Explosion. Exploded. The frog exploded, by trying to measure the ocean. So that's the fable, showing our inability to conceive transcendental matters by material means. Empirical means are only material, and they're so ridiculous, telescopes, microscopes. I created one story also, about that. There were some worms living in the apple, Now apples are all, what's that? Plastic. What's it called? Chemical. So unfortunately, no worms inside. So anyway, some organic garden, there were worms in the apple. And they were deciding about our life and our being, and they were crawling on the surface and examining it. But then one worm was a scientist, and he created one appliance called, this is telescope now. Telescope. In telescope, we can see what's around, beyond the surface of the apple. And he saw in the telescope many other apples. Many other apples. Well, then in the telescope, created more advanced telescope. And in that telescope, he saw many, many other worms on the surface of the apples. The other apples, And then a group. They created a group for making greater telescope. So created more greater telescope, and through that telescope you saw many other trees in that garden, with many apples and many. So it was creating. Finally, he developed, some flying appliances, some types of drones, whatever. So they were filming, from above that, oh God, this garden belongs to a whole community of gardens, and then which is a part of some, city conglomeration. And then there's more, and then there's a country, and then the seaside there, and the ocean, which is limitless. And remember the frog was telling us about this, trying to measure that ocean. So, okay, that's empirical means. Now we're, We want to control of that, you know. That's all that. Now we want to control all that, you know. Like we saw in the telescopes, and how to control the space, you know. We're thinking how to control our apple, you know. But the apple soon will fall, and the scientists, you know, the worm scientists, they know that the apple will fall very soon. How to prevent the apple from falling, you know. That's a scientific conference. How to get our temple forever on the tree, you know. And the strongest scientists saying, dear colleagues, it's quite impossible. We cannot control the fall of the apple, you know. Has to fall and has to rot after falling, you know. So it's a tragedy. What to do? Okay, then scientific conference, developing the ways of escaping from the catastrophe, global apple catastrophe. Okay, so that's the empirical way of thinking. Funny story, huh? Right? Okay, Hare Krishna. So soon we're approaching our last, our very wonderful, never the last, very wonderful finalizing part of our evening prasadam, the great feast. But first, some singing. We'll do chanting together, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And if you have any questions, Kevin and Sarah will be very happy to answer. Any other members? Most welcome. Question? I'll give you a book list to read. Yes, Lavanya is more educated. She's more... Anyway, for both of you, we have to. Lavanya.
Because this word universe,
Oh.
it's just not very accurate, is it? If there are so many.
Yeah.
So what's the basic word for what's that? What word term do they use in Sanskrit? Because universe implies just one.
Okay, the Sanskrit word is Brahmanda. Brahmanda. Brahma means Lord Brahma. Brahma, long, Brahma. And Anda means egg. The egg of Brahma. So that egg has so many living entities on those 14 planetary systems. And Brahma was the creator. So he actually was born on the stem of that lotus coming from Mahavishnu's navel. And he is the highest planet, Satyaloka, highest planetary system, on which he is surrounded by like great personalities like Vedas personified, and he knows everything. He knows everything. But the past time we discussed in the very beginning of this class how Brahma was an illusion. So Brahma was so repentant, and he said that what's it? Gyane prayasam udapasyanamanta eva. Gyane prayasam. Let this knowledge, empirical knowledge, let it perish. To hell with it, like this. Gyane prayasam udapasyanamanta eva. I want to give it up. Sanmokaritam svudiyavartam. Have to listen to the pure devotees. That's the process. Pure devotees of the Lord who have spiritual realization of spiritual principles of spiritual world. Because you want to, if you want to examine this world empirically, then you are bound to find failure only. Gyane prayasam. Prayasam means leave it. Gyane. Because he challenged Krishna, he wanted to see what Krishna would do if he stole his friends, you know, his cowherd boys and calves, and so he put them into a cave, you know. See what will Krishna do. And Krishna taught him a lesson. It's a long story, but anyway, he was so repentant. Finally, he saw them, Krishna, entered them and accepted their bodies. And Brahma went to his planet for a moment. During that moment on Earth, the whole year elapsed. So he came back from his planet and he saw Krishna playing with the boys and the cows again. So Brahma was very disturbed. What's going on here? Finally, Krishna bestowed transcendental vision upon him, and he saw Krishna's form as actually having entered the bodies of the cowherds and, the cowboys and calves. So then Brahma started praying like this. Gyane prayasam. Give up. I want to give up. Please let me give up that knowledge, because by my own means of it. So that's like Maha story, the great story about how Brahma could not cross the wall barrier of his false identification, his false ego. That's why he met a failure here, total failure. That's why 40 prayers he told Krishna, and Krishna didn't even react, didn't even say yes, okay, no, just standing and not clear, holding a mixture of rice and yogurt in his left hand like this. Not clear. So then Brahma, to be repentant, take birth, and as Haridas Thakur, that same saint who was speaking about, Haridas, who was beaten, born in a Muslim family, who was born in a very, according to Brahminical view, like low family, like Muslim family. And he was very much naturally humble from the very beginning, like this. So like this. These are very great qualities of devotion. So again, Haridas Thakur personifies tolerance. To be tolerant like a tree, we have to be. Then we can serve the holy name. Because when we chant the holy name, we're not doing it for our own pleasure. Like when I was young as a devotee, no initiation, I was thinking, my motivation for chanting was like, if I don't chant, then I don't get good energy, like this. Then I'm weak. Then what am I better than any materialist, So I have to chant. I was thinking like spiritual bodybuilding, was mentality, If I don't do gymnastics, then I'm weak, thinking, no, that is not true mentality. It's a service. And we have gurus, all of us, we have spiritual master, So it's service to guru, first of all. First of all, service to guru, service to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, service to the Nama Prabhu, holy name, who are Radha and Krishna. Harinama Tuva Aneka Svarupa. Yashoda Nandana. That song, Harinama is everything, the holy name is everything. Unlimited forms. So, Srila Rupa Goswami said, Tunde Pandavinirutim Vitunute Tundavali Labdaye Karna Kroda Kadambini Gate Te Karnar Bude Bespriham Cheta Prangana Sangini Vijayate Shri Nanokritim No Janijanitakiyad Duramritai Krishneti Varnadvai. I don't know how much nectar is there in the holy name. I want to possess millions of tongues and millions of ears to chant the holy name. All my existence becomes totally stunned when I chant the holy name. I don't know how much nectar there is there in the two syllables. Krishna. When Srila Rupa Goswami quoted this verse in Jagannath Puri on the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Haridas Thakur, who was there in the assembly, started dancing. Krishna, Krishna, I've never heard such wonderful glorification of the holy name. So the Acharya of the holy name was so much impressed with Srila Rupa Goswami's verse. At that time, all devotees gave blessings to Srila Rupa Goswami. Haridas Thakur also, all of them. Rupa was like junior, They were all blessing him. So by chanting the holy name, we will see all those pastimes. We'll enter those pastimes. We'll see who Srila Rupa Goswami is. We'll be in his association. We'll see Srila Haridas Thakur. We'll be in the association. And we'll go to Shri Radha and Krishna and be in the association. And that faith comes from Sri Guru. He gives that faith. Faith means, how to say, recognizing of reality. That's what faith means. Recognizing of reality. Like somebody came from India, right, and brought some smells, incense, masala, this, that, So you have some faith. That person has been somewhere. Also, everybody's speaking about India, so certainly, methods of communication, so many photos and videos, but okay, let's say that child, has never seen any photos, has never watched any movies about India, but father came from India, and some smell. So child immediately believes, oh yes, nice land, Nice smells, and something else also tasted, nice tastes, everything. But, no realization. So to go to that land, okay, there's a process, how to go, where to go also, what to do, what's the program, who to associate with. Long story. So the child hears that from father. So in that same way, disciple hears that from Gurudev and then goes according to Guru's direction to that land, how to behave, where to go, who to associate, what's the program basically. So that's Guru gives us program. Okay, chant the holy name. Hear Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Do this process, which is timeless process. Timeless. Because there's a propaganda in this world. You're a member of a sect, and people just don't know how ancient this process is, how eternal it is. Nitya Dharma means eternal religion. Nobody has ever invented. Nobody has ever, set it up. It was always, always, always existing at all times by all great sages. Harinama, or the holy name, was chanted. So, whatever we do, wherever we are, Harinama is everything, the holy name is everything. So we have to chant, because that is the essence of our existence. I think tomorrow in public program in Fairwarp we'll speak more about the holy name. And we'll tell more stories about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you have any more questions, most welcome. Very cozy atmosphere here. We're like a very special place. I could feel at once like a very special place. And I think this place will gradually become some type of place of cultivation of the holy name. So, wish you all success in that. It's a great opportunity. But you have to practice, study everything. There's a saying, practice what you preach, Yeah. I remember one documentary, like before the movies, sometimes there was some type of introduction, So, yeah, preview, trailer, 10 minutes, And one student, is making a presentation about, so that was all about, when I was in school, they showed us that little 10 minutes, black and white type of how to take care of your teeth nicely, So in the end, the student is speaking in a conference about that subject, how to take care of your teeth and everything. And then the professor is listening, but while listening, he noticed something about his teeth, the student's teeth, And he said, "Oh, young man, here's the apple for you. Please take." And he's taking, and there's a, from one tooth is absent, and there's trace of the tooth which is absent, like that. So the professor is saying, "Oh, young man, you see, the theory is different from practice." I was like 10, like this, 8, 10, 11. They showed us that movie, so I remember, theory and practice, big difference. Sometimes it has to be the same. Practice what you preach. So we're all aspiring towards that, practice what you preach, because sometimes you can speak nicely, but then, you see. So also has to, then what you speak, in that case, will have special power. There's no need to, like a phenomenal player of any instrument, no need to, even sometimes not educated in some music academy or whatever, they can play like phenomenal. Everybody's crying, when he plays, like Paganini or like someone, I don't know, because that's the reality. The person that practice and theory is the same. So when pure devotee speaks Harikatha, it's reality. There are 3 types of speakers. First type gives you reality, it's pure devotee. Second type gives information. So Guru gave us blessings. Okay, you gather and discuss all that you heard from me. Okay, we gather this. That's information. We help each other. Parasparam. That's it. Help each other. What's that? Matchitta madgata prana. Into parasparam. Yeah, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, my pure devotees, enlighten each other and speak about me. Tushanti charamanticha, and feel so much encouragement, so much satisfaction simultaneously. Then take prasad together. Oh, by the way, next step here. Advertisement. So encouraging each other like this. So that's our life theory and practice. Same. I think it's high time for singing kirtan, right? If there are no questions, probably some questions, and we can discuss at the table. I think informal atmosphere more, because here's broadcast and formal atmosphere. So we'll finish the formal part with kirtan, the chanting of the holy name. You remember Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? You remember this? You remember, Sarah also. So you can follow first. The leader is singing, then the choir is singing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Everybody join in. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Bola, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo. Jai Gaur Premanande, Jai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So there will be 3 programs in this east and west Sussex area for 3 more evenings. Tomorrow is a public program at Fairwarp. How far is it from here? Fairwarp? 40 minutes. So in the village hall of Fairwarp tomorrow, the program is starting 6:30. Everybody's welcome. Like basic things, and also Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Lila. And in Chandrika Kunja in Groombridge, at Asim Prabhu's Yamuna Didis, there will be weekend programs at 4 o'clock Saturday and Sunday. After that, we're returning to Vrindavan, India, which is our, cannot say permanent, but place of residence most of the time of the year, let's say. So, thank you so much, and we'll now proceed with Prasadam. Hare Krishna, Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bol. Thank you so much. Shri Gurudeva ki jai.